Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Welcome to Inside the Trenches. We're live here at the Loyola studio, right here in beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana. And normally the energy would be a little more upbeat at the start of the show. And we do promise you that I will go over, the list of guests we have today and, the different topics. But I only felt it would be right, and one of the more important things today, that we talk about one of a more sobering note. And that's from former LSU wide receiver, potential 2025 pick, former LSU wide receiver, Kyrie Lacey, tragically died by suicide on April 12th. And I know you guys may have already heard this news, and I don't know if this is, that's why I felt as if I needed to announce it, because I don't know if y'all had heard or, anything. But, most importantly right now, I think it's a bigger thing for us to just take this time to pray for his family, pray for, his friends, his teammates, that God gives them serenity through these tough times. I know personally when I got the news yesterday, it was a tough pill to swallow. The young man had so much potential, but it made me think about something that's even more important. And the more important subject is everybody needs help. We all need help. Once I heard this terrible news on yesterday, the first thing I thought of was Lil Reezy's album, local artist, friend of the show. He dropped the album, and the name of the album is We All Need Help. And fortunately, I was able to be featured on that project. But just listening to it again and just thinking about it, this mental health thing is something that's super serious. And anybody out there that can hear my voice, as a former NFL player, former LSU Tiger myself, I have personally been through mental issues, went got help, went to go to counseling. I think now it's more important than ever for us to promote those things. As men, we're taught to be tough, to be emotionless, to take life on and, hey, man, just put your head down, keep working, especially coming from a very aggressive nature as being a football player. Toughness is all it is. I sit here in front of y'all 300-plus pounds. I mean, I'm a big person, so by nature I'm tough. But we all are human, and we all need help. So I just thought it was more important to address the more important part, and that's if it's anybody out there dealing with anything, you can always just text 998, 24/7 number. It's a crisis hotline. We'll try to get some more information about this, but, this is very tragic. A young man had so much potential. Kyrie Lacey tragically took his life. So many people formulate opinions about this young man and what they thought he stood for, because of what they thought he was. But obviously, deep down inside, here's a young man that was dying inside. And it's probably a lot of people out there like that. It's a lot of pressure that comes with being a high-caliber athlete. It's not just one of those situations where, especially if you've never been in these shoes before, you can just formulate an opinion as if you know what these guys go through. I can only fathom what these young men are going through right now. I know the type of pressure that we were under back in the early 2000s, competing and trying to play at a very high level. Power 5 football at the time, it's Power 4 now. But it does make me look at the type of pressure that we were under. I mean, we had, after Hurricane Katrina had hit, guys like myself, a couple of my teammates, we would go see the Wizard. We would call them the Wizards, the team therapist at LSU, because we were going through it. You're competing to play. You're fighting for playing time. You have family displaced, and you're still under the pressure of having to entertain and be some season ticket holder favorite thing to watch on Saturday. That's a lot of pressure. So I can only imagine what these young men are going through today in regards to the NIL and the transfer portal and making these decisions, and the people that's depending on them. A lot of things go on. So I thought that it was important that we open the show and say a prayer for the Lacey, Kyron Lacey's family. His dad had dropped a very touching letter right after his son had passed away, and it's just sad news to have to talk to you guys about. But I just really wanted to just take a moment of silence for Kyron Lacey. 2, we love you, man. May God forever have mercy on your soul. And I just want to take a moment of silence. Yeah, CL, man, it's a very touching situation, and you're it's so much going on. We touch bases on. We talk about these guys as journalists all the time about the type of players they are, but they also have personal lives too.
Well, I think we all need to recognize that no one man is an island. We all draw strength from each other. So it took. And a lot of people say this in not even just in passing, but my heart is truly hurting for the parents, because what else can you do? They have this saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. And I don't want to be the cliche guy, but they birth him, they raise him, they teach him right. They got him to graduate from high school. He gets a scholarship at LSU. For me, and I've said it on this show previously, he was going to be the steal of this year's draft, and for this to tragically happen, whatever the circumstances may be, me being a parent myself, I mean, just the thought process of getting him to this plateau. Yeah. I mean, the draft is next week. Literally, the draft is next week. So just to get this far and something tragic like this to happen, I'm truly feeling for the Lacey family, and I think this is going to be a rough one for the Tigers to get over.
Yeah, you think about, and just this weekend, and we'll get to the LSU spring game and recap it, but just being with these young men this weekend, attending the game, and just seeing all the smiles on their faces, guys like Will Campbell even, coming to the spring game. You had a lot of former players there. We were legit looking at some of the pictures. Some of the fans had took some pictures of us during the during the actual spring game, and we cracking jokes. You see us crying, laughing on the sideline. Our former teammates Drake Nevis, Jamarcus Russell, Lamine Barrow was on the sideline. We just joking, having a great time. But the next day to get the tragic news about this young man who's going through so much, and it's just a very hard pill to swallow, really hard to talk about. Didn't really want to go too in depth, but I just felt like it was a bigger message in mental health.
Yeah, we would be remiss not to bring it up. You know, we are a show that is based on sports in everyday life. Yeah. Clearly, this is an everyday life situation. We are also blessed to be on 10.4 Baton Rouge ESPN. Mm-hmm. So obviously, this is covered inside of Baton Rouge, and you know, our hearts and our minds are definitely in the city of Baton Rouge right now because we know that this young man was a budding star. And it was such a tragic loss. It just reminds me of last year's draft when Neighbors and Daniels gets drafted and they do the video conference of the guys together. Yeah. And, you know, they're saying, oh, you next. And literally next week he would have been next. So it is devastating. And to say it at a person that loves to speak about various of things all the time. When the news came my way, I was definitely speechless.
I thought about that moment as well. You know, just those guys, they were all brothers. They grind together,
right?
And just to know that he was up next, and it's just it brings up the fact that, you know, Kyron's dad made a really touching statement. It was a great point. Like all young parents, you know, check in with your kids. And
right.
Like CL mentioned, he has a young son. I have three boys: a young man, a teenager, and a youngster, a 6-year-old. And our kids are dealing with. I was just talking with UP and Spin and our folks here at the Loyola Studios about how the times have changed.
Oh yeah.
For us, it wasn't as many distractions. We talked about you did have school bullies.
Right.
You did get in trouble if you stayed out past the light. When street lights came on, you heard it. You better be inside. You had to go to the girl, not hand her a phone, hand her a notebook, or you write down her phone number. When you got home, you would then call her mother or her father may answer the phone, and you had to say, hey, Miss or Mr. such and such, could I speak with whomever?
First of all, the cojones to walk up to her and ask her for the number.
Right.
Then actually getting the number and then trying to pick the exact time or the right time to call. Then having to go through somebody to get to her. Can I please speak to Miss, can I speak to whoever?
Yeah.
All of that is, and honestly, it's really character building. I never could imagine that would be such a character builder. But, it is unfortunate because today's young men and ladies, they go through so much more than what we could ever imagine. And of course, you speak about bullies or whatever. And the one thing that I noticed that, back in the days, you would get a break from the bully, right? Mm-hmm. The bully wouldn't follow you home. Well, with social media, it could be bullying 24 hours a day. So
that is true.
It's just the next level, and you feel for the young kids, but we would always want them to reach out if they're ever in need of help.
Please do. I think you could just text the number, and it's we'll try to get some more information on this because this isn't something that we should just talk about this week. This is something that should constantly be a conversation. I do appreciate some of our colleagues in the radio world pushing out. Charlemagne, he says that a lot. Push out mental health. Go see a therapist. He talks about he goes see a therapist. I see a therapist monthly. It was at one point in my life I had to see a therapist 2 or 3 times a week. It's just and again, this is y'all have never heard me talk about this publicly, but even here in my late 30s, a guy who played ball years ago, and as me and CL was talking about, times were different. Even with the phones, early 2000s, it wasn't. The cameras were ashy. You had Facebook.
Ashy.
It was a different pressure
between
having to perform on the field, be a brand off the field because that's part of NIL. Always having your stuff together because you don't know which camera's on or around you.
Knowing that they all on.
Correct, and at a tender age, this is something that's totally different from the normal what we're used to seeing. So I do feel like that's important, but I do want to once again take the time to not only pray for Kyron's family, his friends, his loved ones, his teammates, and the entire Louisiana community right now, because we all heard across the sports world as well. So, CL, I know you didn't make it to the spring game. You missed a good show. I like what I saw. Just to recap the spring game, LSU has improved in each area on the field. I like what I saw at quarterback. Nussmeier obviously is in a much better rhythm with his guys. This is year 2 for him at the starter. Right. We've seen what year 2 looks like for LSU quarterbacks here in the recent years. But, we later on in the show, I'll go ahead and tease this. We'll be joined by my homie Cupid. Do the Cupid shuffle. Yeah, he's going to join us later on in the show. He's going to want to talk some spring ball with us, LSU, because someone, should I say, that really caught my attention on Saturday was Juwan Johnson from LCA out there in the Lafayette area, who was in his second year with the Tigers. He got a little burn at running back last year, but the type of plays that Coach Shalone and Coach Hankton are putting together for him is amazing, CL. Of course, we've seen this with Drew Brees a lot with the Saints, whether it's Jameis or Alvin Kamara, whomever, he motions over, right? And then you have Jameis get at quarterback. We saw that with Juwan. He motioned at quarterback, and the guy's shifty. So I do think that the athleticism that we have at the quarterback position and the experience is going to be much better this year.
Yeah, wasn't able to make it, but of course, I'm all over the highlights and the lowlights, if you will. I am intrigued of the new formations. I am intrigued of them using all the weapons at once, because what's the point to have a dual quarterback system and you only use one? What's the deal to have four blazing speedy guys and you only have 2 on the field at a time?
This is true.
I like the combination of the specialists that are out there at the time, and I do agree with you. Nussmeier seems to be in a better place, especially with rhythm-wise, with the wide receivers and the emerging guys. And, of course, I saw the highlights of the young man. I was so curious to see Mr. Harlem Berry himself.
I'm telling you, man, like this team, you do have to give LSU an opportunity to not only get in the rhythm of things, but put together the right pieces. And that does have a lot to do with the coaching staff. West Bank was shining. Xavier Thomas was balling out there, showing off his speed and special teams a couple of times on returning and also on offense. So that piece was good. Offensive line, I thought out of Kristen Stamps, and this came out of Coach Brad's own mouth, was the most improved offensive lineman this past spring ball for LSU. If you guys don't know Kristen Stamps, he's the brother of Ashton Stamps, and he's just really taking his time to improve. And I think from the perspective of what they're able to do in replacing these guys, you have Will Campbell, Emory Jones, Miles Frazier, like now the Garrett Dellinger. These guys are now going into the draft and going to the next level. So they had to replace. So that was an area I think most people wanted to check out the O-line.
Yeah, and you know that it's always a moving situation, a rotating situation, especially when you have 2 bookends literally going into the NFL, and everybody's chomping at the bit to see who will replace them. But let's talk about the gentlemen that have been there and been stalwarts there. Mr. Weeks, I mean, obviously he's going to be the best linebacker in the NFL. I forgot who gets that award. Buckus, the Buckus Award winner this year, or whatever award they want to give him. He's primed to have a great season, but it's the ends for me. The pressure that LSU gets on the quarterback this year is still a big question mark for me. And obviously it was a scrimmage, so nobody was really going live enough to, really put the quarterback on the ground or actually get real pressure, if you will. And I think that's all. We are all curious because we know This is Louisiana State University. There's talent at every skill position plus. You know, it's about inside the trenches, inside the SEC, especially with LSU. And I'm waiting to see what the actual pressure that's gonna come from the front four.
That's another piece that you have to pay attention to. I had a chance to speak with my old teammate Kyle Williams.
Okay.
We chopped it up for about a good
New
35,
D-line
45 minutes. Yeah, the new defensive line coach at LSU. Very interesting story getting to LSU, right? He was a consultant bouncing across the NFL, working with different teams and different staffs to improve their line. And he was a defensive coordinator out there in Ruston.
Okay.
Just out there, and they have shown some strides there. You know, but yeah, I'm just thinking back to, you know, our times at LSU and, you know, just how we were able to not only learn from Kyle, but watch him do it the right way. So that's an area where he have some young guys. You have my bro, he's back in his you know, this is his second year playing, but he was a freshman getting reps in. So I think that, you know, you didn't have Tank Guillory, he didn't playing his game. He's rehabbing, but he's primed to get back to full speed. So, you know, overall, CL, I think that, you know, LSU across the board looked pretty good in the spring.
LSU State University has enough outside talent that we could talk all day about the specialists. What will the offensive and defensive line do this year, and especially inside the SEC? We're waiting to see.
Well, baby, it is Inside the Trenches. We live right here in the Loyola studio. Shouts out to all of our folks working in the studio, getting things rolling, baby. Baby, that's what I'm talking about. Look, y'all hang tight. When we come back, we're playing basketball. Y'all remember that old school song right there. We're going to talk a little Pels. Some changes has happened in the Pels front office. We're for certainly going to have to talk about that. And, you know, as I promised our folks, we'll be joined by the one and only line dance king himself, Mr. Cupid Shuffle. But I want to take this time to shout out to Lamarck Ford Crescent City. Y'all be sure any contractors out there, subcontractors looking for new trucks, new utility vehicles, you have to hit up fleet manager Shelton Jordan right over there. Shelton Jordan, they're in Harahan. You can't miss them. Make sure y'all check them out. That's Lamarck Crescent City Ford right there in Harahan. We'll be back. Y'all don't go anywhere. It's Inside the Trenches live on ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Hello, somebody. I see y'all over there moving that body.
Inside the trenches.
Or 393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing, all Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamar Crescent City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis, to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamar Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamar Crescent City Ford is a proud partner.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolf. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing, all Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamar Crescent City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis, to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamar Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamar Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Well, hello, somebody. Welcome back to Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon BIGFAV Favorite, and y'all are listening to us live right now, or watching us, baby, live right now on ESPN Baton Rouge, 104.5, baby. Shouts out to our crew over there for showing mad love. We super appreciate this being our home every Monday for 6:30. Be sure to follow my co-host, the real GM. You know what I'm saying? Follow him at let me stop. CL_NOLA. Follow him on the social media. I'm telling you, great content. I mean, listen, during the football season, if you're not able to make it to the game, he's going to keep you live and in living color. And be sure to follow me at BigFave504 on all the social media platforms. And then be sure to go to Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on YouTube and hit that like and subscribe button, baby. Hello, somebody. So let's go ahead and talk a little basketball. Let's enjoy some NBA, why don't we? And a little NCAA college girls basketball, and got some updates with both of them. So the big news coming from, I can't just go past my sponsors like that. I want to send a special shout out to my main man, Robert Wolf. Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate. Y'all be sure if y'all looking for, they're running a really nice program with house elevations. So I know folks out in the West Wego area does a lot of house elevation down a bayou. If y'all looking for some house elevation updates, y'all can go to 504 or call 504-393-2445 and mention you heard about them right here on Inside the Trenches. Say Big Fave sent me over here for the special rates. So, CL, some changes has definitely happened with the Pels. The Pels just recently released GM David Griffin.
Yeah.
He was the executive vice president for some time, but it was a very disappointing season, 21-61 so far. His tenure began back in 2019.
6 years.
6 years ago, and right now the highlight, but not so much highlight, was the lottery pick and getting Zion in.
2 years of playoff.
2 years. What's your thoughts on David Griffin's tenure here with the Pels?
Well, first of all, shouts out to the GM, David Griffin. I understand that he had a tremendous task in not only getting his team together, but obviously we all are familiar with the injury situation. I tend to look at the glass half full. I do believe Griffin brought in talent, DeJounte Murray, a Murphy Jr., a Herb Jones. So I believe that the talent was brought in to be better. But the timing of the injuries was bad. We all know a new direction needs to happen in New Orleans, and I think Ms. Benson decided to spearhead that today.
She did, and it was a big move. Something had to happen. We felt it as a fan base. We didn't know if it was going to be a coach being fired, some players getting traded,
right,
more players being traded over, but they made the executive decision as general manager. You run the show, so it's important for you to make the right decisions.
Yeah, and you realize when you have a season at 21-58, you realize it was a complete failure. You realize that last year, without the injuries, you won 45 games and you were the 7th seed in the Western Conference. You were also the best road team in basketball last year, and no one man is at fault for that. As much as we like to point the finger in New Orleans, you can't point it all at Zion. You can't point it all at Griffin. You can't point it all at Willie Green, head coach, that is. I think it was a collective snake-bitten disaster season that we all will have a hard time trying to forget, but knowing that moving forward, we had to do something different. And when you're doing something different, it has to start from the top, and it did, and Griffin's gone, and we're looking for a new GM.
Yeah, that's right, and y'all know how they say it, if you ain't winning, they ain't going to continue spending. Hello, so that's what it has to be. Speaking of spending, look like they want to keep the money in the state. From what I'm hearing, most of the reports that the Pelicans are looking at Joe Dumars, worked as an executive in the NBA office over some years, so he does bring in that type of organization to this organization, something that we need. Somebody who's worked on the executive side in the NBA, so we will become more organized. But in addition to that, he's a Louisiana native and he played the game. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that the bringing home?
That's why if you heard me, I started off. Look like we want to keep the money in the state. That's what I said.
And I definitely and all I'm doing is concur. And you're so correct, brother. And all I'm doing is concurring what you're saying. What we're doing is we're bringing a Louisiana guy from Natchitoches, Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. Respect to the Dumas family. Joe Dumars started his career, obviously, for the Detroit Pistons. Cut his teeth on guarding Michael Jordan one-on-one. So you can already think, okay, defense attitude, which is much needed in New Orleans. As a Pelican fan, as a member of the organization, I believe we do need a culture attitude change in New Orleans because, honestly, I'm tired of being the nicest team in the NBA.
And that's what we've seen a lot here with the Pels. If y'all are just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, we're talking about the Pelicans. They just fired their 6-year GM, David Griffin. We look back at his legacy. He did bring in Zion.
Trades.
You look at the Murray, a healthy Murray is going to be good for that team. I thought bringing in Missy and those guys this past draft, they didn't do bad in the draft.
Got B.I. off the book.
Got B.I. off the book. So he's done some things, but as I mentioned, if you ain't winning, they ain't going to continue spinning. And that's what it really boils down to. You know, you have, Willie Green now. We don't know the certainty of his position. Do Joe Dumars take the time and let Willie give him another year? Or do he say, I've seen enough, now I can go make a hire? So you start thinking about guys like Coach Mark. You start thinking about, his name slips in, Mark Jackson. You start thinking about, just player coaches, really.
Cassell.
I've heard this name pop up a lot. Avery Johnson. That would also be a keeping it in state home situation. So in my opinion, if you're the GM and y'all do know the real GM, he gonna change that tonight on y'all. He ain't gonna be CL NOLA. It's gonna be CL NOLA, the real GM. Do you give a young player coach and Willie Green another year under your tutelage as GM, or do you just part ways and start looking at maybe some of the candidates we just mentioned?
As much as I respect a Willie Green, and as much as if anybody understands the snake-bitten nature of our health situation in New Orleans, basketball as well as football, I would have to start from anew. Let's just say, just for sakes, Joe Dumars came in. I would have to have Joe choose the head coach of his liking because I do believe we need an attitude change. I do believe we need a kick-in-the-butt type mentality attached to our basketball team. We're in the West, and it's never going to get any better. Every team in the West seems to get better every season, regardless of injuries or not. Who in the world would have thought that the Houston Rockets would be the number 2 team in the West?
Right.
So every year the West is getting better. I think we need an attitude change. I think it would be time to move on for Willie, respectively. But we know what you went through, Willie. And I've already heard that he might be a possible replacement for the gentleman in Phoenix as the new Phoenix head coach. Phoenix Suns, that is.
Sometimes changing things around does help the organization, but, when you move a piece like that off the board, GM, whoever comes in, they're going to want to bring in their guys. Sure. So, I mean, I've experienced that as a player, as a rookie with Carolina, so I already know what that is. So now we're looking at, like, the strategies of the draft. Let's go ahead and look into the future. Let's say maybe this Wednesday we hear that we do hire Louisiana native, Freeport, Louisiana native, Joe Dumars. Nice. NFL, we're going to talk NFL later on in the show. NBA exec, play years, like you said, guarded Jordan, play years in the NBA. He brings that experience. Correct. Right now, we're holding a 12.5% chance that the top draft pick will come up to us again. And right now, the top pick, and this is why I want to roll that with you, see how you feel, is Cooper Flag. Talking about changing GM, potentially head coach. I mean, what better kid to start off start fresh for your organization with?
I won't sit here and lie to you and tell you that I hate to be the guy that told you. I told you there's no one else in this draft that I am either interested in or willing to bring in and put at the wing starting position day one. It is Cooper Flag. I have did all my research on this young man. The 3 things I will tell you about him is, number 1, he's more athletic than you imagine. Number 2, his defense is better than you imagine. And number 3, his all-around game is so much better than you imagine. This guy is clearly the number 1 pick coming off the board. I will have all my Pelican hats back straps crossed to get the number 1 pick. But no, respect to all the guys that will be in the draft, respectfully. This is just a guy. This is just a guy that I believe the New Orleans Pelicans can bring in and make a change for the better immediately. We wouldn't have to put the quote quote Zion pressure on him to save the franchise. He would just come in as an additional piece, a guy that's on the wing, a guy that would bring defense. I'm sure GM Dumas, if he gets it, would love some more defensive presence in New Orleans, like I've been begging for since day one. This is the guy for us. Let's hope we get him.
Well, it's inside the trenches, baby. We have so much to look forward to here in the next couple of months. I mean, with the NBA draft coming up later on here in a couple months, the NFL draft next week. And yes, we will be here doing a pre-draft next Monday, 6:30 p.m., same time, same place. And we will get information for y'all for next Thursday because we might have a little surprise show for y'all. Hello, somebody. But, yeah, it's definitely was time for a change, and we've seen that. Changing head coach with the Saints, new regime coming in with that, changing scenery, that brought in new coaches, guys like Terry Joseph, Bo Davis.
Yep.
It started to reshape. You're starting to bring in winning college coaches to help it improve. You want to make your team younger, bring in some coaches that could come in and just finish working with younger coaches. Well, look, y'all, don't go nowhere because this is a show for sports and entertainment. And right now, our next guest is setting the world on fire in entertainment. Louisiana's very own Cupid Shuffle is going to join us right here on Inside the Trenches. Oh, let me get my sheet, my questions ready for Cupid because you already know it is going down. So y'all make sure y'all stick around right here on Inside the Trenches, and we'll be joined by Louisiana's very own Mr. Cupid Shuffle himself, going to talk some sports with us, a little bit of music, talk about some of his upcoming shows. I can't wait to hear it. And listen, once again, if you need construction done to your house, you maybe need to work a real estate deal, you might want to sell your house, you got to hit up my folks over there at Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate. They're located at 143 LaPelco Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, or y'all could call them at 504-393-2445 and just mention that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches right here with BIGFAV, baby. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be joined by musician, artist, Cupid Shuffle right here on Inside the Trenches. We'll be back, baby. Hello.
And I say no. They say what you doing, trying to do somebody cold. I just let the music come from my soul, so all of my people can stay on the floor. They got a brand new dance. You gotta move your muscle. A brand new dance. It's called a Cupid Shuffle. It don't matter if you're young or you're old. Here we go. We gon' show you how it goes. Now walk it by yourself. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Down, do your dance, do your dance. Let me see you do the Cupid. Down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, do your dance, do your dance. Yeah, yeah. Down, do your dance, let me see you do the Cupid. Down, do the shuffle, baby. Now walk it by yourself. Now you see what I'm talking about. I represent for the dirty South, where we're known for swinging out. King of swing out, baby. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, down, do the right, the right, the right, the left, the left, the left, the left, the left. Now kick, now come on, baby, kick. Now walk it by yourself, walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, the right, the right, the left, to the left, to the left, the left, the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick, now walk it by yourself, walk it by yourself, and do the Cupid shuffle. Now let me see you do the Cupid shuffle. Now let me see you do the. It's your boy Cupid, C-U-P, the I, the D. Mr. Fat on the track, got another kid indeed. Do the do your dance, do your dance. Come on, come on, do your dance, do your dance. Let me see you. Do your dance, do your dance. Do your dance. Do your dance, do your dance. Down, down, do your dance. We got a brand new dance. We got a brand new sound. We got a brand new feel. We got a brand new style, y'all. Oh, yeah. Cupid. Come on, let's go. Back it up, then turn to the left. Flex your body. You're so sexy. Flex your body. You're so sexy. Here we go. Slide to the right, slide to the left, right foot, left foot, then turn with it. Right foot, left foot, then turn with it. Now flex, come on, flex. Come on, hey. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up, then turn to the left. Let's go. Slide to the right, slide to the left, right foot, left foot, then turn with it. Right foot, left foot, then turn with it. Now flex, come on, flex. Here we go. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up, then turn to the left. Let's go. Flex your body. Flex your body. You're so sexy. You're so sexy. Flex your body. Cupid, MC World. Listen, everybody get your fans out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, come on. Pop that fan. You gotta pop that fan. Pop that fan, pop that fan. You gotta pop that fan. Pop that fan, pop that fan. You gotta pop that fan. Pop that fan, pop that fan. You gotta pop that fan. It go right, left, right. It go left, right, left, and your step so smooth, so cool, so fly, so fresh. Go ahead, cha-cha for me. Turn around and let the world see. Come on and trip out, turn, come on, dance. Everybody let me see you pop that thing. Go right, right. Go left, right, and your step so smooth, so cool, so fly, so fresh. Go ahead, cha-cha for me. Come on, turn around and let the world see. Come on and trip out, turn, come on, dance. Everybody let me see you pop that thing. Pop that thing. You gotta pop that thing. Pop that thing, pop that thing. You gotta pop that thing. Come on, you gotta pop that thing. Pop that thing. You gotta pop that thing.
Well, I'm MC World, still keeping it hot. Bet the ladies show out when I step in the spot. Make the whole floor rock when she do that dance. You ain't seen nothing yet till she pop that thing. And she got the whole crew cutting up tonight. Just moving them hips from left to right. Well, I love the way you do it, baby, just don't stop. I know you in the building when I hear that pop. We're doing big bands, not the little ones. You're doing this dance, you gotta get you one. And don't be scared, stand out in the crowd. Hands up high, make them pop real loud. Even if you're sitting, just tap your feet. Pull your fan out, make it pop to that beat. I see some pretty fans with some pretty girls. 1 time for Cupid, 2 time for World. You gotta pop that.
Whoa, now what's happening? What's happening? What's up? What's up? Mic test 1 2 1 2 1 2.
And make the band go pow.
You gotta pop that fan. Pop that fan, pop that fan. You gotta pop that fan. Pop that fan. You gotta pop that fan. Pop that fan. You gotta pop that fan. Cupid, doing 95, trying to see my lady. Haters gon' hate, you know they're shady. You're the only one that I call baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, don't take your love away. 'Cause I might go crazy. I might lose my mind. You're my just imagine if you're not here, I wouldn't be able to think clear. Listen, come on. And don't you forget it. Don't you forget my love, 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 love. And don't you forget it. Don't you forget my love, 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 love. When you pass that ass, it's looking right in those jeans. You're moving it fast, shaped like an hourglass. Conversation heavy,
Oh yeah, dog.
Time for a change. New style, down, do your dance, do your We got a brand new dance. Down, do your dance, do your dance. Swing out, baby. Do your dance. Down, do your dance, do your dance. New style, They say I'm a rapper, and I say no. They say what you doing, trying to do somebody cold. I just let the music come from my soul, so all of my people can stay on the floor. They got a brand new dance. You gotta move your muscle. A brand new dance. It's called a Cupid shuffle. It don't matter if you're young or you're old. Here we go. We gon' show you how it goes. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Let me see you do the Cupid. Let me see you do the Cupid. Do the shuffle, baby. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Now you see what I'm talking about. Oh, I represent for the dirty South, where we're known for swinging out. King of swing out, baby. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Let me see you do the Cupid shuffle, the Cupid, Cupid shuffle, the Cupid shuffle, the Cupid, Cupid shuffle. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. From that boy Cupid, yeah. The king of swing out, baby. Yeah. Here we go. To the right, the right, the right, the right, the right, the left, the left, the left, the left, the left. Now kick, now kick, now come on, baby, kick. Now walk it by yourself, walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, the right, the right, the left, to the left, to the left, the left, the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick, now walk it by yourself.
Welcome back to Inside the Trenches. This is your host, Marlon BIGFAV Favorite. And we want to take this time to thank Conquer Sports Pros. Conquer Sports Pros for all that they do for the show. We had a 5-on-5 this past week in CL with at Elite Academy. Shouts out to Coach Smokey and all the coaches who came out there. So if you're an elite athlete right here in the Louisiana area or anywhere across the United States, really you need help with consultation with recruiting. You need assistance with training. You need to get with one of our professionals. Hit us up at Conquer Sports Pros. You could go to conquersportsballers@gmail.com. Hello. Well, our next guest really needs no introduction. When you talk about music right here in the state of Louisiana, it's about a handful of names that pop up, and this name right here is definitely one of them. Platinum recording artist.
Oh, yeah.
When I tell you drop a hit like at the drop of a dime,
Cha-ching.
the one and only Mr. Cupid Shuffle himself. Y'all welcome Cupid to Inside the Trenches. What's up, Cupid?
It's a long time coming, bro.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
you're right.
Finally.
So-
Well, I do know that most of this interview has to be about sports, but we're gonna do the music first.
Right.
once
Come on.
once me and him get the rolling on them sports, it's definitely a show. Y'all make sure y'all follow Cupid at the original Cupid on Instagram. Official. What's the Instagram again?
It's official new Cupid on Instagram.
Official new Cupid on Instagram. And listen, if you need to learn all these dances, because we got even more dances coming up here, he got you. So Cupid, let's
Oh,
take
yeah.
it back to the beginning. I've had a conversation with Fat as I was training his son BJ about you guys in the beginning, like back in college. You names like West Bank Lincoln probably rings a bell to you. And like, just I guess talk to us about the beginning with you and Fat in college and when y'all started rocking the parties. And this is before you hit records.
Way before, man. I met Fat in 1997. He was, he was working at this studio. We had this one studio that pretty much had all of us signed. So he had a rap group. I was in a singing group. At the time, I was running track at USL at the time. I'm a little older, dog.
Come on.
And so, you know what I'm saying? So, one day I just decided, I was like, man, I want to do music, man. They had this guy, he used to manage SWV by the name of Roller Edison. We had won a talent show, and he came down to sign us. So, we jumped out on fate, quit the track team, you know what I'm saying? And started but what happened was my 4 other group mates all flunked out of school, along with myself, because we was chasing the dream, you dig? So by me being home by myself, man, me and Fat connected, and he was an upcoming producer. I was trying to get beats, and man, we just started rocking. I mean, independent album after independent album, I started getting a buzz in Lafayette, and that turned into eventually the Swing Around the Roses, the Cupid Shuffles, and stuff like that. But that's my dog, man. I've been rocking with that dude since, you know what I'm saying, since the 90s, since the 1900s.
Come on.
Hello, somebody.
Favorite century.
Yes, indeed. One of the better centuries, right? So you talk about some of you said your rock song. Y'all, when did y'all do that one?
Well, man, when I first started off, dog, the only way you can get played in the club is if you would do party songs. So I used to try to be like Kango Slim. I'd be singing on bounce tracks, singing on Texas tracks. One of my first hooks I ever did was with R.I.P. Big Pokey, man, from Houston, and that's what kind of made me kind of venture off into that dance kind of R&B. Because back in the day, they wasn't playing just no slow jams in the club unless you was Key Sweat or something like that.
Right.
So I had to find a way to get myself heard. So that's kind of how that started, man. 2001, I made my first radio single called Do Your Thing with West Bank Lincoln. And in 2005, I switched up and started doing the whole swing out stuff. And me and Fat made a song called Swing Around the Rosie, which was at the time the biggest swing out song in the area. Mm-hmm. And then from there, dog, touring on the road with Mel Waiters came Cupid Shuffle. And that's the one that changed my life for real, for real.
Wow. I love to hear those throwback stories, brother. I love to hear the grounding of it all. Obviously, you're constantly on the move, and if I'm not mistaken, you out in LA right now as we speak.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
We have this saying on Inside the Trenches called "Keeping Home Home." Cupid, tell the people what keeps you home in Louisiana.
Man, to be honest, bro, Louisiana is the number one place I can be completely just myself. People don't want, they'll see me and be like, what's up, Q? We done seen you in Target, we done seen you in Walmart, we done seen you in the dollar store, so it's no big deal, man. And I think by me being Louisiana so much, that's what keeps me true to the sound. Even when I'm here in LA, them people out here don't know nothing about no line dance or no Zydeco, or at least they act like it, but they try to act like it. But for me, man, I'm not switching up nothing, man. I'm not going in there with no proper accent. I'm not going up in there trying to sound all, dressing all weird with 2 different color shoes and a necktie around my head or nothing like that. I'm going in there straight Louisiana. And I think that because I'm who I am, whenever you travel, one thing about Louisiana, my brother, no matter where you're at, Louisiana people gonna represent anywhere. So
for sure.
That's fact.
You know what I'm saying? So by me being, just all the way like that, man, it's I didn't want to leave home. I got a son that play ball, you know what I'm saying? And my wife, she she went to LSU, man. She from Louisiana. So, maybe when all them children leave, I might move. But right now, man, we all the way in, bro.
Yep. If y'all just tuned in to Inside the Trenches right here on ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel, we're interviewing my main man Cupid right out of the boot, baby. Stand up. Louisiana made. Yes, we Louisiana proud. Y'all make sure y'all follow him at official New Cupid on the social media. I vividly remember, and I've shared this story with you tons of time. It was the winter part of the spring semester, 2007, the year we were getting ready to go to the national championship. And New Cupid.
Yeah.
You just heard it at Club of Voyals. And then like all of us caught on to it. And it was only a few folks that was from around that way that already knew the song. And then we started doing it. It was just like, because we was humming it at first because we didn't know the words.
Right.
And it was like, boy, and they played you back to back to back. The last time I've seen or heard a song play back to back to back like that, I was in the 6th grade. Going to the 6th grade, me and Deli, who produced me and Cupid's song My Love.
Shouts out to Deli.
Shouts out to Deli, boy. His brother Dominique, we DJ, all of us,
Shouts
we went to Bubba's party on Lynbrook, round the corner. Jubilee just dropped Get It Ready. They played that thing back to back like 12 times. That's how we was in Club of Voyals that night. When you knew that was a hit record, that this is the one that's going to take me over the top?
Man, I made that song August of 2006. December 2006, man, I did a show. It was like all kind of people, like Robin Thicke, all kind of people. And the program director from the radio station said, you got to go last. And I was like, man, you paid Robin Thicke 10 bands. You gave me about $800. Like, why I got to go last? He was like, nah, because the shuffle too big. And that's when I was like, oh, bro. But, I didn't know what it was like because I didn't know what a record deal looked like. And then January 2nd, that's why you hear me at the beginning of Cupid Chef when I say, January 2nd, 2007. That was the date. That was the day the album was supposed to come out. Well, January 3rd, what happened was, so the thick of it is, Fat Mr. Neezy, man, Fat's father passed away in that December. And so, the album was supposed to come out January 2nd, but man, my bro was going through it, man, you know what I'm saying? So it was no pressure. So we was, but I had already monikered and said that in the song, January 2nd, 2007, to kind of like get people getting ready for the album. So January 2nd, it didn't come out. January 3rd, dog, I got a call from Universal, Def Jam, and Atlantic all in the same day. Wow. And I was like, look at me, I was like, what, man, what's going on? You know what I mean? So they say, a delay is not denied, man. I think that was kind of like guys' way of like, okay, don't worry about the album. I got something for y'all. And man, look, after that, January 3rd, gone. Gone.
Remember it like, dog, it's
like
crazy.
Like a skyrocket.
Yes,
bottle
indeed.
rocket.
Yeah, man.
Well, being inside the trenches and realizing this is a sports show and it's, sports is heavy on competitive nature and wanting up each other whenever possible. Lately, there's been some line dances that have been put out that has been catching a little buzz. What's next for Cupid? Because I'm sure competition is a healthy thing, and I'm sure you're motivated to get back on the track. What's next for Cupid in 25, brother? Talk to us.
So truthfully, man, deep down inside, of course, there's gonna be a little competition. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the lane, it's the lane that I own. I feel like I'm the king of that lane.
Yeah.
Come on.
But in order for it to become a genre, you can't have fast food restaurants if you don't got a McDonald's, a Burger King, a Sonic. You got to have other ones for the world to identify, the genre. But at the end of the day, everybody get a moment. Everybody get a moment. Look, in sports, everybody catch an 80-yard. You might have a game where you have 200 yards receiving, but can you do that all season is the question.
Yeah. Hello, somebody.
So for me, I just know that we got him in the we got him in the clip, man. I got a new one coming out called The Cookout featuring Bun B and Paul Wall.
Keep it trill.
Yeah. Crazy. Then I just dropped a new song. Well, Keith Sweat about to drop a new song featuring me in a couple of months. And Lil Duval about to drop the song I wrote for him this summer and they both some line dance records. So, you know, like you say, whenever people move, you got to just move a different kind of way. So for me, I'm just like, I'm excited to take it to the next level with bigger artists and on a bigger platform, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we think about songs like The Bus Stop, Electric Slide, you know, all of these different songs that's basically line dances, but at the very end of the day, nobody really grabbed that title. And the Cupid Shuffle was the song that really, when you were in, what that was, Jump the Broom?
Mm-hmm.
They used that song as the wedding reception song. I'm like, oh
Congratulations,
yeah,
brother.
He's definitely ascended to
dog.
another level.
Appreciate that, brother.
Wow.
That was so. I guess I just slid that in there real quick. What that experience was like, you know,
Might
you
as
got
well.
the call from the producers of the show, like we want to use your
Walk
feature,
us
your
through
record. Yeah.
Crazy story. I got a call from TD Jakes because I didn't know that it was gonna be a big movie. So they was like, look, he like, you know, we love your song and we interested in, you know, putting it in a movie. Me, this before Tubi. So I was like, man, this might be like a little low budget movie or something. And then about 7 months later, man, I saw the marquee and it was like Jumping the Broom, you know, predicted to be the #1 movie in the country.
Wow.
But I didn't know how they used it. So when I went to the theater, we sitting in the movies, we watched the whole movie, and I'm like, oh man, are they gonna even use it?
Right.
And the last scene, dog, they popped that thing off, and that became one of the most popular scenes in the movie, bruh. So, yeah, man, like the movie stuff is cool because every time the movie plays, you know, that's like part of your residual. So it's a blessing, man.
Residual.
And,
Don't
you
make
know,
me
so
do the
it-
R. Kelly remix.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yes, indeed. Now, that's good stuff, man. That was pretty funny. Longevity matters, Cupid.
Oh, sure.
You think about Baby Boy the Prince and, you know, and what he was able to do in his time frame and Chopper. And it's like these songs come still alive. They still rolling.
Yeah.
When I think of the Cupid Shuffle and how, I mean, we're going on almost 20 years of this song being relevant, and you're still being like, look, CL, he just told me Flex just took over Cupid Shuffle like a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like in terms of
it's crazy.
Yeah, we got. I know we have you here for about another maybe 9 minutes. So I guess briefly explain to our viewers what's the key to longevity in this, because it's a man. Think about all the one-hit wonders. Good songs, not good records. We still jam, but I mean, for you to repeat and do it again, and man, I guess talk to our viewers about like that process, and you know, what's the key to it?
Like my old 7th grade coach told me in high school, man, the only way you fail is if you quit. So I figured if I made enough songs, something was gonna shake. You know, if you just keep on throwing them out there, because at the end of the day, the people decide the hits. Like we think, oh man, I got a song, it's a hit. Nah, like them people gonna tell you if it's a hit.
Right.
And Flex just so happened to be one. Cookout's another one. Pop That Fans is up and coming. So it's just, man, just don't stop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you keep podcasting long enough, so you're gonna get your break. If you keep doing music so long enough, you're gonna get your break. It's gonna pop off. It has to, you know. So that's kind of my thing, is I never stop. Like I just never stop doing shows. I never stop promoting. I never stop. And that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? I guess the key to it is just that consistency, bruh.
That's real.
Brother Cupid, I'm hearing 06, I'm hearing 2015, 7, 16.
Yeah.
In the year of our Lord, 2025, what do you want Cupid's legacy to be?
Bruh, I just want, honestly, I want my props. Like, and I say that because for so long, people look at line dance music like it was just like, whatever, some stuff we do in the backyard. And now that it's popular and it's really out there, I want people to know the history. I want people to know the importance of it. I want people to go ahead and put me on the stages to where I can tell that story and preach that gospel about songs that bring people together, dog. Like, my music brings white, black, old, young, tall, short, it don't matter, together. So if we want to say that we want positive, let's make positive popular, bro. So my thing is, standing on it and saying, "Hey guys, I'm the line dance king. Here's the origin. Here's what's and just giving the information about it. Just kind of like hip hop. Hip hop has a lot of information where people can pay tribute to it properly. So I just kind of want that to be the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. Cupid, I got to give you your props, man. You and I, we talk music. I mean, me and Cupid got a couple songs we working on and some more stuff. And we have My Love, That's Out. So all our people in Baton Rouge, y'all check me and Cupid's song out. But you know your football too, man.
Hey, bro, it's not a game. Fave, it's not a game.
Look how serious that boy got just now. No more smiles, no nothing. He's serious.
I had to. It was so serious. I had to FaceTime him at the spring game. I had Juwan Johnson's dad. I had Juwan Johnson himself, and I must say I was very impressed with his spring performance. I can say this. I spoke to Coach Shalom. He has tons of plans for him. He said, "Man, you saw him running that ball, but I guess talk to our viewers about how you feel about Juwan Johnson based off of you watching him as a high school player and developing now."
Man, I was blessed enough to be able to watch that kid since his freshman year, man. And Louisiana is a hard place to play football. Mm-hmm. We all know that. We got a lot of talent, a lot of good schools. Yeah. For you to be the all-time yards leader of all time, not sometime, not sometime, all time. Right. I watched this boy slap 500 yards on Arch Manning, who we say is good. I watched that. It was so bad, they kneeled the ball the whole fourth quarter against Newman. Wow. I watched this kid score 9 touchdowns against the reigning champion, Acadiana High School, with Dominique on the other side. Yeah. I watched him put a 60-pack on them. Listen, the kid is awesome. And you can't, with a kid like that, the one thing that I've always loved about him is he just a dog. He gonna give you everything he got, bro. You gotta do something special to stop him. So I just feel like a kid like that just deserves an opportunity to be able to let his skill set shine. You feel me? I ain't Faye. All your little partners on Twitter. I ain't gonna say their names. Smarty pants. They too busy doing other stuff, man. I'm in the trenches. I watched it. I watched the kid score 9 touchdowns in the semifinal game against Turlins to beat him in overtime. 9. He's special, bro. And if they use him properly, he can be a great asset for LSU. And I go to bat for him. I go to bat for Dom. I go to bat for Ahmad. That's all kids that I watch grow up. But Juwan's special, man.
That's huge.
Wow. Well, brother, I'm so excited to hear you speak passionately about football. And we had a conversation, me and Fave had a conversation about your football knowledge before we got you on here. With the 9th pick in the 2025 draft, the New Orleans Saints select.
Okay.
I told you.
Let's go.
Look, they probably going to either pick a guard or a defensive player, bro.
No Shador?
No Shador?
No Shador?
It's no, man, listen. There's no way under the sun that they're going to draft Shador for a couple of reasons. Years ago, we talked about the salary cap with the Saints. Mm-hmm. There's too much dead money out there. And with all the restructuring that's going on, you're going to have a hard time convincing Dion and Shador that he got to sit. And I honestly don't think the Bensons is ready for a young quarterback with that type of swag to be at the helm in New Orleans. Because if they were, Fave, we talk about it. Breeze wouldn't have came back prematurely. Winston wouldn't have lost his job to an injury. I'm just saying.
Come on.
At the end of the day, you gotta own what comes with Shador, his swagger. You gotta own what comes with that, his daddy, his whole everything. And I just don't see New Orleans. I mean, and then here's the second piece. Who is he gonna throw to there? Because as a young quarterback, Derek Carr ranked real high in sacks last year. He was heavily sacked. All the quarterbacks in the Saints was sacked. So you don't want to put a high risk high, caliber quarterback behind that offensive line. And third, you got to have some kind of special target. I think he gonna go somewhere in a bigger market. But for the Saints, I truly feel like the Saints need to go ahead, fix Carr, get that Carr situation going, and get to the core of what they got going on. If they really wanna, they gotta fix that dead money. You still paying Michael Thomas.
That's
For
right.
sure.
Yeah, they still spending money.
I've always made the suggestion, if we're going to still pay Michael Thomas, he might as well be on the team.
Well,
Man, you still paying Michael Thomas. You still got dead money with Taysom Hill.
Ramchick.
You still got a lot going on. Ramchick, you got a lot going on. So they got to fix their money situation because you can't bring Siddur to the Saints with no targets.
That's right. That's real. And
Unless
like
we're
I said,
going to get Babu.
We
Unless
still
we're going
got
to
to
get
see.
Babu out of retirement.
Right. And look, Cupid, we got like 1 minute left. My producer just hit me. We definitely gonna bring you back
Come
on
on.
about that. But before we go,
Definitely.
I need you to promote that new single, man. Pop That Fan, baby.
Hey, man, pop that fan for all the ladies out there. Y'all pop that fan. Fellas, pop your towers, man. They say popping fan can be a little wild. So I'm just telling you. Appreciate y'all so much, bruh. I
Number
love
one
the show.
trail ride
Fave.
song.
Fellas, I appreciate y'all. I know y'all got to get to work, man. I love sports. I can't wait to sit down in there in person with y'all.
Sure.
And it's all love, man. I appreciate it.
Any upcoming events? Are you doing a jazz fest or any of the
Anything?
festivals here in the city?
Man, I'll be at the Spring Swing in Lafayette, man. Mother's Day weekend, man. And y'all stay tuned, man. I'm in LA right now, man. So hopefully I can be on the one of these award shows that y'all real familiar with. So that's the plan.
Hello, somebody. Well, he's Cupid. Y'all be sure to download his music everywhere. The Cupid Shuffle, over 1 billion streams. Pop That Fan, killing the game. I'm just telling you, he dropping hit Flex, the number one. You hear Flex everywhere you go across the world. Cupid,
Yeah.
keep up the good work, man. We're so
Louisiana
happy
boy.
for you.
Hey, man, I appreciate the show, man. Y'all the realest, bro.
Come on.
Yes, indeed, man.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for your time, brother.
All right, fellas.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, it's Inside the Trenches. We want to thank our guest, Cupid, for coming on the show. Remember to follow him at official New Cupid on Instagram. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right here on Inside the Trenches. Again, shouts out to Conquer Sports Pros for sponsoring this segment.
Right, left, and your step so smooth, so cool, so fly, so fresh. Go ahead, cha-cha for me. Turn around and let the world see. Come on and trip out, turn, come on, dance. Everybody, let me see you pop that thing. Go right, come on. It go left, and your step so smooth, so cool, so fly, so fresh. Go ahead, cha-cha for me. Come on. Turn around and let the world see. Come on and trip out. Turn. Come on. Dance. Everybody, let me see you pop that thing. Pop that thing. You gotta pop that thing. Pop that thing. Pop that thing. You gotta pop that thing. Come on. You gotta pop that thing. Pop that thing. You gotta pop that thing.
Well, I'm MC World, still keeping it hot. Bet the ladies show out when I step in the spot. Make the whole floor rock when she do that dance. You ain't seen nothing yet till she pop that thing. And she got the whole crew cutting up tonight. Just moving them hips from left to right. Well, I love the way you do it, baby, just don't stop. I know you in the building when I hear that pop. We're doing big bands, not the little ones. You're doing this dance, you gotta get you one. And don't be scared, stand out in the crowd. Hands up high, make them pop real loud. Even if you're sitting, just tap your feet. Pull your fan out, make it pop to that beat. I see some pretty fans with some pretty girls. One time for Cupid, two time for world. You gotta pop that.
You gotta pop that fan.
and make your bag go.
Let's go.
Cupid, doing 95, trying to see my lady. Haters gon' hate, you know they're shady. You're the only one that I call baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, don't take your love away. 'Cause I might go crazy. I might lose my mind. You're my just imagine if you're not here, I wouldn't be able to think clear. Listen, come on. And don't you forget it. Don't you forget my love, 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 love. And don't you forget it. Don't you forget my love, love.
When you pass that ass, it's looking right in those jeans. You're moving it fast, shaped like an hourglass. Conversation heavy, loud and clear. The vibe is right, dancing through the night. Catch a flight in the AM. Girl, what is you saying? Like, where is you staying? We can
Time
go
flies. Clip its wings, baby, especially when you're having a good time. It's Inside the Trenches. It's your boy Marlon BIGFAV Favorite. And shouts out to our special guest, Cupid, for coming on the show. We really could have went a whole nother segment with Cupid. So much to talk about.
Yeah, he know his sports now.
Yeah.
He know his sports.
He knows sports. Now, we were talking about the spring ball
Yeah.
before he came on, and you saw how candidly he talked about
he
Jawan
jumped in.
Johnson.
He jumped
So, I mean, you saw with Texas last year, they ran the system with Arch getting in, right? It worked there. Do you see LSU doing something similar, especially after what we just saw in the spring?
Baby, we all saw what Texas A&M did to LSU. And we all know the NFL is a copycat league. So is college football. Why not have a two-headed monster? If I'm not mistaken, Cupid said that boy scored 9 touchdowns in a Louisiana playoff game.
Yeah.
They could use his talent on the offensive side of the ball at Tiger Town.
Well, one thing for certain, CL, that we could really use is an explosive player to our offense at that position. And for all intents and purposes, I do truly believe that Zach Mettenberger, boy, I threw it back. Wow, I threw it back. Boy, that was a Monday-type conversation.
Jesus.
Kerry Nussmeier could be a Heisman candidate. Like, people forget the type of production this kid had, even when Jaden was here. Like, look at his performance in the SEC championship a few years back. So that's why, CL, to you and Cupid's point, and the bowl game. Yeah. Oh, when Jaden sat out and he did his thing. So, you know, you look at that, you look at it from that perspective, CL, and I mean, this kid is geared to have one heck of a year.
You know, Joe Burrow's second year at LSU, Heisman. Mr. Daniels, second year at LSU, Heisman. Could there be a possibility that Mr. Nussmeier can be in that running for the Heisman? Regardless of where he lands in that conversation, I think it bodes well for the LSU Tigers to have him in his second year with more familiarity with his wide receivers, especially the new explosive ones that have come through the transfer, because we all know that today's college football is the free agency end.
Oh, that it is. Speaking of free agency, let's go ahead and look at the Saints real quick, and let's
my favorite subject.
See if we could put together some type of mock draft. I mean, listen,
come on,
it's the week before the week. You know what I'm saying? It's the week before the week. It was the week before the week before, and you know, a name came up then, and it seems that the same name keeps popping up again. over and over again, and that name is Shedeur Sanders to the Saints, right? But let's go ahead and take a look at a little mock draft I put together, just basically off of what I've seen. And me and CL, we kind of looked at these names. It wasn't really so much about the names. It was more the positions. We just threw names in just because, like we all do, right? After, like you always talk about, we have a prediction of what the first 10 to 15 picks will look like, but we don't necessarily know how the back half. So the Saints pick, first round, they got 9. They have 40 overall. They have 71 overall. They have 93 overall. They have 112. They have 131. They have 184, 248, and 254. For those who, obviously our sports folks who follow the game a lot might have knew that. So a total of 2/3 and 2/4. Those picks, those 4 picks, I really want to pay close attention to.
4 picks in the top 100.
See what I'm? Come on now.
Come on.
Let's talk about it. Shedeur Sanders. This happens 2 ways. Now, this is the way that you would rather it. He fall at 9.
Yes.
If he's still sitting on the board at 9, CL, it would be ludicrous for LSU. Look at me. For the Saints not to go with Shedeur.
I've been asked this question probably 50 times in 50 different ways. My take on Shedeur in this situation is he must fall to 9 for me to be comfortable in drafting him. I didn't want to trade up to maybe 6 with the Raiders and give up extra picks that I've already gained from the Lattimore trade. I've had discussions of moving back, since if he makes it to 9, we all know that he will drop further than 9, possibly down to maybe Pittsburgh at 21. It's hard. So maybe we jump back in the first round. But I think with all things understood is that we have 2 3s, 2 third-round picks, and 2 fourth-round picks. So we're able to jump back in the second round or the end of the first round to actually go back and get a guy that you may deem important to get in this first round. But if the number 9 pick comes and Shedeur Sanders is on the board, I would have to turn the ticket in for Shedeur.
Now, some may argue, CL, that what we're going after a quarterback when we don't have an offensive line that's shored up.
Yeah.
Well, he don't really have, and that's what Cupid.
That was Cupid points. Yeah,
he, the wide receiving, the receiving core isn't right where it needs to be. Dealt with a lot of injuries, but I'm gonna go opposite of what you usually say. Or you got a lot of slack about this. Just like when you get to picks 27 and 28, that seemed like the second round.
Exactly.
Well, on the other hand, sometimes in other worlds, in other situations,
alternate universities.
Yeah, alternate universities, you have. Well, some may say, well, pick 40 is 8 picks away from the last pick in the first round, which is 32. So you might get first round talent.
You definitely get first round talent in the second
40.
round.
So Emory Jones from LSU may still be sitting right there on the board, or guys like him. But with Emory, he brings versatility to the position. So just imagine this, right? Center, you have Eric McCoy. He's probably top 3 center in our league.
Top 2.
Top 2, right? He probably would say something like, and I ain't number 2. He probably would do something like that. So then,
mixed 6 games and still was a Pro Bowler.
The 2 guards. Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? Because you have a situation where you can move Penning on the inside. Keep Fuaga on the end. I'm sorry. You could keep Penning
at right.
Fuaga
at
left. Emory Jones, you could bump him in the guard. He's versatile. Right? And then center, you got Eric McCoy, and then on the other was his
Salivary.
That seems like a solid offensive line.
Well, this is the deal. And I find myself starting to enjoy it even more because people are actually wanting me to explain my position, and it's totally cool. Please, guys, please keep commenting. Please keep asking me to explain my position. Look at it like this. I don't care how you feel about Shedeur Sanders. You know 3 things. Number 1, he's a true pocket passer. New Orleans, you fell in love with a pocket passer named Drew Brees that didn't have a great arm, that didn't have a rocket arm, but was accurate. Who doesn't have a rocket arm and who's accurate?
Shedeur is very accurate. He is.
Number 2, he's going to bring the fanfare. New Orleans, Louisiana. Imagine how the Atlanta Falcons would feel if Deion Sanders' son played for the New Orleans Saints, and for the next 10 years, it's Penix against Sanders for the next 10 years.
Oh,
imagine
like
what that would do to the New Orleans Saints-Falcons rivalry. I'll give you another situation. Let's just say Cam Ward is the number 1 pick in football this year. So there'll be a number 1 jersey in Tennessee. Well, if the New Orleans Saints pick Shedeur at 9, there'll be a black and gold 2, so that at every pro shop all around America, because that would be the highest selling jersey of this year.
Yeah.
So if you think the New Orleans Saints are gonna fight for the playoffs or for the division, whatever you may call it, you want to lead Sports Center, you draft Shedeur Sanders, and I guarantee, even today, it's happening today.
Well,
they're showing the Saints. They're talking about the Saints.
Lot of people.
Not because of Miss Benson, not because of Mickey Loomis. For a guy that's not even on the team, they're talking about the New Orleans Saints because of Shedeur Sanders.
That was the
Keep
number
that in
one
mind.
conversation, and you have to think outside the box for Shedeur.
Right.
I know a lot of, and I've been hearing tons of journalists, particularly that's in our area, have been saying, hey, I've been asking around the league, looking into different people, talking to different people. Nobody has this kid on their first on their board. No, they're not telling you that he's on your board. That's what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot
he's
of
first
lies.
on a lot of boards
Right.
because although this class isn't as strong as most would anticipate it to be for quarterbacks, I wouldn't even compare it to the class with like a Blaine Gabbert in it. I would even compare it to the classes, even with the Malik kid from Tennessee.
Willis.
Yeah, I mean, I know those classes were a bit weak, but Shedeur is talent. He brings the fanfare. I mean, look how they turn things around at Colorado. And then nobody really talks about the opposite side. No one talks about the fact that he didn't have the best offensive line in college football. He didn't have the same offensive line Cam Ward had. Gary Nussmeier had. He didn't have these type of players. And then lastly here, along those same lines, CL, with Shedeur, you bring in a guy that is an electrifying offensive player, and that's what we talked about all the time.
What are the knocks on Shedeur as far as the media goes? He's brash, his attitude, blah, blah, blah. You realize that was the same thing they said about Baker Mayfield, about him being brash, about him having the attitude, and they drafted him number 1 overall to the Cleveland Browns.
Good point.
So you can't have it both ways. You want a guy that comes in that's confident enough to win you games day one, but you don't want him to be brash and confident in his skills. That doesn't make any sense. But I know one thing. You want to change the dynamic of what's going on in New Orleans, Louisiana, you draft black and gold number 2 with the name Sanders on the back of it, and I guarantee you we'll be on the lips of everybody moving forward in 25.
Yeah, the team has been very boring the last few years. No excitement, just very vanilla.
Add some pop, baby.
This will add a lot of pop, add a lot of
If you're
excitement.
not going to win the Super Bowl, add some pop.
So they do have 2 third-round picks, may go with an edge guy, cornerback, 4th round, maybe a defensive tackle. I keep hearing the kid Tyreek Williams from Ohio State. But this is what I find very interesting. See, I don't want to. We got about 3 minutes here. What if Isaiah Bond, wide receiver from Texas, is sitting there at 4? 131. Would you go with that? That's a talented receiver that could potentially.
Initially, I wanted Bond. Saw his pro day, saw him run. Unfortunately, he's coming up on some off the field issues that he might have to deal with.
That's what Keys was saying.
Yeah, a little bit more earlier than later. There is a guy, young 6'4" wide receiver Higgins out of Iowa that I eyed after the situation happened with Bond.
Okay, so well that's another potential option.
Yeah.
All right, so they have a 6th-round pick, may go safety, edge guy. I hear Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, that boy a dog. But lastly, because we have about a minute left.
Come on.
Tyler Booker, guard from Alabama. What if he's sitting there at 7?
I have no problem with fortifying that offensive line.
Bingo.
And I don't want to seem like a homer or a Sanders homer, but at safety, I wouldn't mind drafting Shiloh at safety.
Okay, there we go.
To be the replacement of Tyrann Matthews moving forward.
You trust guys that are coached by Prime?
I trust guys that love football.
There we go. And we know Prime guys love football. That's right. Well, listen. We love our sponsors. We want to take this time to thank all of our sponsors for Inside the Trenches. Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, and Morero. As we mentioned, Small Sliders, they're out of commission right now. The inside burned down, but I talked to Rick the other day. They will be bouncing back soon, so y'all get ready. Those party packs will be rolling. We want to send a big shout-out once again to Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate, 143 Lapalco Boulevard, right there in Gretna, Louisiana. If y'all down here in the NOLA, holler at my boy. They do business throughout the state, too, so y'all don't just have to be in this area. I know a lot of our viewers are from across the state. Call 504-393-2445. Use code word BIGFAV to get all the hookups, baby. Holler if you hear me. And last but certainly not least, Lamarck Ford Crescent City. If you're a subcontractor, you may be somebody who owns a company, electrical company, you just bid it on something, and you need to update your utility vehicles. You got to hit Fleet Manager Sheldon Jordan up at 504-734-3579. Again, that number is 504-734-3579. For all your truck needs, let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches. For our studio crew up in there, I think Tyler up in there, Hannah in there, my man Wes, Damian. Shouts out to my homie UP, Spin, the studio. I'm telling y'all, they doing such an excellent job. My co-host CL right here, man, for all he do for the show, dropping the hot content, keeping y'all all in an uproar. And the real GM, I'm trying to tell y'all. And look, we'll be back next Monday at 6:30 p.m. right here, right after Easter, baby. So this is the last time we'll see our crew until Easter. So happy Easter to everybody out there.
So they're not Easter?
No, it's not. It's not. We're getting close, though. And big ups once again to ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Paul O'Neill, Matt, the whole crew back there. We appreciate y'all. Well, until next time, we live here in beautiful New Orleans at the Loyola Studios. It's Inside the Trenches. Peace out, baby. Y'all enjoy.
Inside the Trenches.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolf. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing, all Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamar Crescent City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarck Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarck Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.